What's good, YouTube? I'm back again with a banger video for you guys today. In today's video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to get better aim or to improve your aim in the new Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, this applies to every single Call of Duty really because they're very general tips, but the Call of Duty that it applies to specifically are Call of Duties that have been released with the Modern Warfare engine. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Vanguard, and then Warzone, because those are all on the same engine and the mechanics are all very much the same. Without further ado, let's get into the video. But before we do that, if you guys like content like this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and gets to show people our content and what we do over here. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. All right, before we jump into the actual in-game tips, let's hop into some settings to get you guys right to make sure your aim is as good as it could possibly be. So starting off with sensitivity. Now, a lot of these tips are very much compatible with keyboard and mouse players. The only stuff that isn't is my aim assist settings and my sensitivity settings. But you can apply this logic to every single thing that I talk about on keyboard and mouse as well. I personally play on 6.6 sensitivity. However, I don't recommend you to copy my sensitivity just because it's my sensitivity. And for that matter, I don't recommend you copy any pro player or Warzone player sensitivities just because it's their sensitivity. You want to find a sensitivity that's right for you and that fits your playstyle. I personally recommend starting from a lower sense like 4.4 and work your way up slowly, incrementally. If you like 4.4, keep it on 4.4. But I think you start at a low sense and you work your way up. I used to play on 4.4 a couple years ago, but I've slowly worked my way up to 6.6 sensitivity, and it's just one that I personally prefer the most. I think it's snappy, but it can also be controlled at range. I think the best range for sensitivities is anywhere between 4.4 to 8.8. These are very manageable sensitivities, and they're not too slow, and they're not overbearingly fast. I think 6.6 is a perfect median, though. ADS multipliers. Now, in this game, you can customize your ADS multiplier per zoom. I think this is going to be a lot more useful when Warzone integrates with this game, because you're going to be using a lot of 3 times, 2 times, 4 times, and then sniper zooms, and you can customize that way more specifically. I'm not going to use this until Warzone integrates with Vanguard, because in all honesty, every sight that I use on my guns is less than a 2 times. So pretty much everything's straightforward here. So I stay on 0.8 ADS multiplier. It's just one that I am most comfortable with. Now, the lower your sense is, the higher your multiplier should be. So if I played on 4.4, I would probably play on a 1 ADS multiplier or a 0.9 ADS multiplier. If I was on 5.5, I'd play on a 0.9 ADS multiplier. Just because the lower your sense is, the slower you're going to be aimed down sight, especially if you have a lower ADS multiplier. So I personally like to have 6.6 with 0.8. I just like the ratio from ADS speed to looking around speed without ADS. Okay, moving on to the aim response curve type. This is something that has been introduced in Modern Warfare and has been fairly new to the Call of Duty scene. But one of the things that I will tell you to trust pros and other people about is the aim response curve type. Dynamic for me and almost every other person in the Call of Duty and Warzone scene is using dynamic aim response curve type. It is the one that has been pretty much proven to be the best. You can be most accurate at every range, long, mid, and short range. Now, moving to target aim assist. This is something that I don't remember ever seeing in any other Call of Duty before. Basically, what target aim assist is it replicates the aim assist feel for different types of players. Now, the default one is basically aim assist how it feels in Warzone, and the Black Ops one is how it feels in Cold War. Focusing and precision are ones that are for specific players, whether you're new or an accurate player. I've tried them both out in Warzone, and I really don't like the way either of them feel, because you either feel like it's too slow when you're aim down sights, or there's not enough slowdown when you're aim down sights, especially at long range. So I don't recommend using either of these, but try out the Black Ops one and try out default and see which one you like more, because I did try Black Ops out for a little bit and I actually liked it. It's just preference. Hopping into the actual in-game tips. The first tip that I would like to go over is centering. Now, this is something that you probably hear from everybody who talks about how to get better aim in Warzone, but this applies to pretty much any FPS game. If you've ever played Counter-Strike or Valorant, you've probably heard the term crosshair placement before. Crosshair placement is when you're trying to put the center of your crosshair where you think enemies will be. If you watch any player who is known for their skill in Call of Duty, you will see that they'll always have their crosshair about midway on their screen or headshot to upper chest level. So that way, if there's a player in that area, they're going to be automatically centered onto their chest or upper head. This way, it gives you the best chance to reacting the quickest and to win the gunfight and get first shot off more times than not. A lot of the time when I watch people that are new to Call of Duty, I see them running around like this. If you don't notice anything that's wrong with the way I'm running around right now, this is more than likely how you run around in Call of Duty or play the game. This is bad for multiple reasons. For one, if there's an enemy around this corner and I'm running around it like this, and they're right on this head glitch, I have to readjust my aim, to the center of my screen and then center onto their body and then shoot. Now, obviously, it's gonna be a lot quicker than how I just broke that down, but for the time it takes you to go like this, they're already going to be looking where you're coming, and it's going to be a very easy kill for them, and they're more than likely going to kill you before you get more than 2 bullets off, because Call of Duty is a very fast-paced, high time to kill game, so you die extremely quickly. It's very important to be having your crosshair at the center of your screen where the enemy's body is, and also where you think they could be. So this is a very common spot on this map, but this applies to any map and any game in any situation in Call of Duty, or any FPS for that matter. So if you know that that's a high traffic area, you more than likely should have your crosshair before you even go around the corner to where they might be, because if they're there, it's a higher percentage chance for you to react quicker and shoot first or around the same time as they do, and it gives you a better chance to win the gunfight. This is something that you should implement in any game you play that involves shooting, especially Call of Duty. Okay, the second tip that I want to go over with you guys is recoil control. Now, recoil control is obviously something that is in every single game that is a first-person shooter. These tips apply to every single video game that is a first-person shooter, because honestly, they're all pretty much the same in terms of how to get better aim, especially on controller. They're very standard. So recoil control is obviously the recoil pattern of the gun when you shoot it. So if we use an MP40, for example, and I don't move my right stick when I shoot, this is the recoil pattern of the MP40. It goes straight up and then slowly moves to the right. That's a very easy to control recoil pattern. One tip I didn't go over is if you go over to the graphics settings and then go over to gameplay, hit show more on field of view and turn affected FOV on, you will get less visual recoil on your guns. That is a little tip that I went over in my settings video, which is also uploaded on my channel, on ways to get better aim. If you were to control this recoil and it goes up and to the right, the obvious answer is that you want to just pull your stick down and to the left very slightly. So if I were to control this gun, didn't mean to go prone there, you can see where the general shots were. I kind of went prone there on accident, but this is the general spot of where my bullets all went. Now, if I'm looking from a distance, this is about chest to upper neck level. So this is about headshot level right here, and I'm shooting in their upper torso. As you can see, this is a very general thing, but if you want to learn how to have better recoil control, all you got to do is go into a private match like this, throw a couple bots on, put the radar on always on, and then put the time limit and scroll limit to unlimited, and just mess around and shoot them and practice from longer ranges, or even just go up against the wall and shoot it and practice on controlling your recoil and see how tight you can get this circle to be. And the better you guard that, the more accurate you're going to be in gunfights. Okay, the third tip that I want to go over is something called strafing. Now, strafing is a very generic term, and you guys honestly probably already know what I mean when I say strafing. Strafing is whenever you are moving your character from left to right, whether on keyboard and mouse or controller. This is a strafe. And strafing can help offset the enemy's aim if you go around a corner and you're strafing, or you're in a straight up gunfight and you're moving left to right, because that means they have more to do. They actually have to aim with, instead of just looking at you when you're standing still. If you're both just standing still in front of each other in a gunfight, it's very easy for both of you to aim because neither of you are moving. You don't even have to move your right stick. All you gotta do is just shoot forward and you're killing them. It makes you a harder target to shoot at. Now, strafing is very effective in any situation, but it is most effective on situations like this where you're on a head glitch and you're not just standing still, because a decent player that sees you on this head glitch standing still, very easy. If they're already centered on you with their centering and they see you right there, all they gotta do is point and shoot. It's very easy. But if you're adding more depth to your movements and you're moving left and right, they actually have to move with you and try to aim. And since you're on a head glitch, they have less of you to shoot at. So you're a harder target, especially if you add things where you're going prone and moving back up, like you're snaking, which I broke down in my movement tutorial, which is also on my channel. Shameless plug. But if you are doing things like this to strafe, going prone, sprinting back forward, just doing things to offset their aim, you are a much harder target to hit. Now, something that goes hand in hand with strafing is something called shouldering. You've probably heard of this if you've played other FPS games. You either call it jiggle peeking or shouldering. Shouldering is basically where, if you don't know if anyone's around that corner, you just kind of jiggle peek or shoulder the corner. This is all shouldering is if you, let's say we're in a game of S&D and you want to push down this lane, but you don't know if anyone's there, you just run up to this wall and you just peek it real quick, so that way they can't just kill you if you run around the corner. It makes it a lot harder to shoot at you. Now, what this does is it allows you to see where they are. Let's say you don't know anyone's there, you run around the corner, shoulder it. They're either not gonna hit you at all and you're gonna get free information, or they're gonna hit you once, maybe twice, but they're never gonna be able to kill you off of a shoulder. the most you're going to get is weak, and all you got to do, and that's the way you can just back up and reposition and wait for them to push you if they want to. But what this allows you to do is to shoulder it, see where they are, and then basically position your crosshair to where they're going to be. So let's say there's a guy on this head glitch, but I don't know that. I walk over and shoulder it. I see a guy there. I'm already going to be positioned with my crosshair where he's going to be. So all I got to do is run on the corner, or slide cancel around the corner, or jump around the corner, or just straight up peek it. And I have an advantage in the gunfight, or on an even level playing field, instead of me just running around this corner and getting killed with my gun up. Because one of the things you might notice if you're dying a lot in the game, but you're not like, you're like, I'm shooting this guy, but I'm dying all the time. Why am I dying so frequently? A lot of the time it has to do with your centering and the fact that you're always dying like this. You're always dying mid-sprint with your gun straight in the air because you're not expecting anyone to be there, or you're not anticipating someone to be there. So shouldering is one of the ways to limit those deaths, because you're taking a chance to see if anyone's there. If there's nobody there, then it's a free site to push down. It's a free lane to hold. But if you don't know if anyone's around this corner, you just slowly go back and forth. Maybe you see someone there and then you jump chow. That's an easy kill for you because you have the advantage in the gunfight. Okay, so the last tip that we're going to talk about is a tip that I saw from other pros that I personally use myself, but never even thought that I did it. It's just because of me naturally playing the game. But it's a tip that I don't really see very many people talk about. Now, the video that I saw was mentioned this tip in is from Crowder. He is an ex-Call of Duty pro. He's the current coach for the Atlanta FaZe on the CDL. And he called it left stick aiming. Now, left stick aiming is where if there's someone moving across your screen, I'm going to give an example just like he gave. If there's someone moving across your screen, you don't want to just be stagnant and shooting and tracking. You can make it a lot easier on yourself. It's also kind of like strafing, where you move with the person, and it allows you to have stronger aim assist, and it's a lot easier for you to follow your shot if someone's moving along that area. Instead of just standing here trying to track, you move with that person. That is a tip that I don't really see many people talk about, that can be used in a lot of different scenarios other than the one that I just mentioned, but it can be used in gunfights where you're moving left and right, but you're using your left stick to help you aim as well. Because when you're moving and someone's moving with you, or someone is in a straight line of you and you're moving left and right, your aim assist will turn slightly towards that person, and it gives you a little bit stronger aim assist in gunfights rather than just staying stagnant, making yourself an easy target, and you have to do a lot more than they have to do with you. Now, a lot of these tips were very generic, but honestly, with repetition, this is the best way to improve your aim in Call of Duty, and in all honesty, in any FPS game, controller or keyboard and mouse. I use these general tips that I've learned from Call of Duty when I'm playing Valorant, when I'm playing Apex Legends, when I'm playing any other first-person shooter. You will pick these things up in any of those games, but honestly, Call of Duty is just one that's very basic. Call of Duty is a very basic game. Pretty easy to have good aim in this game if you practice and play. Now, if you guys like content like this and you found any of these tips helpful, be sure to thumbs up the video. It really helps my channel and what we're doing over here get into the algorithm. I would really appreciate it. And share this video with a friend who has bad aim or could use something to work on. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for all the love on the Vanguard content recently. If you like this type of content, let me know what other types of videos you guys want to see on this channel regarding Vanguard, or maybe even Warzone. I can't wait for the Warzone integration in about a month from now, so we can start pushing out more Warzone content. But I love you guys so much, man. Peace out.